Hey, how's it going, everybody? You found my video. Maybe you are new to Texas, or maybe this would be your first time doing a private party purchase of a motor vehicle. And nobody wants to get to the county tax office only to find out that something was signed wrong, something was missing. You got to come back another day. The lines are long, it gets frustrating. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to bring to your county tax office to get the vehicle in your name. I'm going to show you how to get the title signed properly when you're doing the paperwork with your seller. And I'm going to talk about all the requirements of what happens and in what order and how to know what's going on when you're doing a private party sale in Texas. My name's Tom. I'm the Sleazy Used Car Dealer. I've done hundreds of title transfers. I've probably had with this channel 1,000 people call and ask questions about doing title transfers. So I got it down. Listen to me and you'll be just fine. Let's get to it. All right, the first thing I want to tell you is there's really only two different types of titles that you're going to want to register when you go looking for cars. A lot of times people think that us sleazy car dealers are trying to pull one over on the public, but I will tell you, I have more people call me about shady deals they've done on Craigslist or Marketplace than people that have told me about bad experiences with a dealer. So there's really about 4 different titles that Texas uses. We're only going to want to buy a car that has a blue or brown title. And I have them listed here. The blue one is the Texas Certificate of Title. That's the original title that the buyer got when they got the title put into their name. Then if at some point they lost the title, they had to file for a lost title, then that title is brown and it says certified copy on it up at the top next and right below where it says Texas Certificate of Title. You don't want to mess with a salvage title because those cannot be put on the road. You can mess with it if you want to. I have a video on how to convert those to a rebuilt title. But for the purpose of the average guy just trying to buy a car from an individual, you're only going to want brown or blue. Texas also uses a kind of orangish colored one, and it is for cars that are for parts only and can't be put back on the road. So if it says Certificate of Title or Certified Copy Certificate of Title, those are just fine to use. So that's the first thing to know. That's what you're going to be looking for in terms of a title. Now, before you go out to look at a car, you're going to also want to know what do you need to have in order to get your car registered. When you go to your county tax office, what do you need to bring with you? That's very basic stuff. It's not nearly as bad as it sounds. One is a properly signed, and we'll go over that a little bit more in the future, a properly signed car title. The second one is the Texas application for title. I will put a link down below where you can download that form ahead of time and have it with you when you go to buy your car. In most counties, if you don't have it and you walk in with just the title, they're going to fill it out for you and you're going to sign it and you'll be just fine. But I will put the link there so you can download it, take it with you, be a prepared buyer. Then you're also going to need, if you're going to register the car to drive it on the road, you'll need your proof of insurance. Proof of insurance is not required for a title transfer where it is title only, i.e. you've bought the car, you need to get it into your name to avoid any late fees, but the car has serious mechanical issues or it's a project car you're going to be fixing up over several years. You do not need to insure it just to get it transferred from your name, from the seller's name to your name. You do need the insurance if you're going to also get the license plates and start driving it, okay? Next, Texas has a law that says the state inspection cannot be more than 90 days old before they'll register the car. Now, I know in 2025 the state inspection thing is going away, but I will also let you know that emissions counties are still going to have an emissions test. So I assume it will stay the same. But for now, for 2024, unless there's a change in the law, the car has to have had that state inspection no more than 90 days before you bought it. So something to think about: if you go and you look at a used car, the check engine's light is on, and you're in an emissions county, you may want to figure out when that car was last inspected, if you're going to have to spend money to get that light out and repaired before you can get it inspected, before you can put it in your name, or maybe they just did it recently and so you're fine. Now, if your car came from another state, and this will be, say you have a Louisiana title, and you're going to register it in Texas, you will need to bring that original state inspection with you to your county tax office, because the state is relying on that inspector who verified that VIN number before they'll give you a Texas title, okay? Also, there is a website called mytexascar.org. If you get the VIN number to the vehicle, you can do it right from your cell phone. You can look up that last state inspection and see how long ago it was. So that can help you if they don't have that inspection handy or whatnot. So those are some things to know, and like I said, look up that inspection before you go or while you're there looking at the car, just to make sure that you're not going to have to come out of pocket for some big repairs, before you can even get your car registered. All right, so take a look at this title I have up on the screen. This is the blue title. Let's just say that you've found the car you like, you're getting ready to inspect the title and then sign the title with the buyer and get on your way. The first thing I want to say is one of the biggest problems that happens when people are doing a private party transfer is the buyer does not sign his or her name exactly as it's printed on the front. So if you look at my title example here, I got the red circle around where it says buyer's or owner's name. So if their name is Robert Franklin Smith on the front of the title, that seller needs to sign Robert Franklin Smith. He can't sign Robert Smith. He can't sign Robert F. Smith. He can't sign Bob Smith. He can't sign Bob F. Smith. He can't sign R. Franklin Smith. He has to sign it exactly as it is printed on the front of the title. If there are two names on the front of the title, him and his wife, both of them have to sign on the back and print their name, okay? That's very important. Next, under the blue circle there that I put on the title where it says remarks, it can be a number of things, but what you're looking for is it will have a mileage if the car was less than 10 years old when the title was transferred, or it would say exempt if the car was over 10 years old. For a period, Texas does not track mileage on cars after 10 years old. And then it could also say rebuilt, or rebuilt salvage, or rebuilt Montana, or some variation of that. That would indicate that the car was previously a salvage car that had been rebuilt. And, if you love the car and you're looking for basic transportation and he didn't really tell you about that, I would probably bring it up, because it does hurt the value of the car a little bit. And, they can be salvaged for many different reasons. It's not the end of the world. If I'm buying a car for a commuter car, or I'm buying cars at the auction for my lot for customers that just need basic transportation, I don't worry about it. But I will say that it does affect the value of the car a little bit, so make sure that that was taken into consideration, okay? Then the next thing, I have two orange circles. If there was originally a lien holder, Toyota Motor Company or whatever, their name would be printed on the bottom of that title. And then theoretically, just to the right side of that, it would say where it says first lien released, there would be a signature on that title, usually a rubber stamp or something, from Toyota releasing that lien. All right. So you want to make sure if there shows a lien on the left side, that their lien is released on the right side. Also, if you're dealing with the brown title, the certified copy, sometimes what happens is they lose their original when they get it, so they go get a copy. They will generally have a second sheet that is a release of lien. You just want to make sure that that release of lien is the same company that's printed on the title. That way, when you go to get your title, you won't have any liens on it. All righty? All right, now on to the nuts and bolts of why you're watching this video, and that is for the signatures on the title. This next slide I have here, I have the back of a title. The back of all titles looks the same. So you'll notice up at the top, signature of purchaser, or name of purchaser, excuse me. So that top line, it is highlighted in yellow, is where you're going to write in your name and address as the buyer. I want you to understand too that whatever name you write in is how that title is going to be printed. So if your legal name like mine is Thomas, I would write in Thomas. You can write whatever, but understand that's how it exactly is going to be printed, and that's what you're going to need to sign in the future. So top line is you, yellow, you write in your name. Then generally the seller writes in the mileage of the vehicle, the date of the sale, and they sign and date signature of seller and printed name of seller. Again, if there are two of them, you're going to want to make sure that they've both signed it above or below the line, squished in side by side, whatever, but both signatures, both names have to be on the signature. Then the bottom line, signature of buyer, is you. If it's you and your brother, you and your father, you and your spouse, both people need to sign and print on those lines, okay? So that is what's most important here. That is the biggest takeaway of this, is signatures need to match the printed names. Particularly with the buyer, I get tons of them. Particularly with the seller, we get tons of them where people didn't sign it right. Then they can't find the seller later, and they're kind of screwed. So I would also say, when you've signed the title and so forth, you want to get from your seller their phone number. It's usually not a big deal on Craigslist, but on Marketplace, so many people just use the the Facebook Messenger that they don't even exchange phone numbers. But you want to be able to get in touch with them. You just want to tell them, hey, can I get a phone number on the fluke that we didn't sign the document properly? Can I just get a number so I can call you in case we need to get something signed? Hey everybody, this is Tom. If you're still watching my video, that means you're watching this plug. And what I want to ask for in this plug is for you to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I recently looked at my Facebook data and I found out that only 5% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed to my channel. I know part of it is because some of the stuff I do is very specific information. How do you sign your title? How do you get a copy of your title? What do the different title colors mean? And that's something that you probably go to YouTube because of a Google search. You find that information, you get your question answered, and you're done. And that's one of the reasons I've started including some behind the scenes from my car dealership into my channel. So if it's content that you think you like, that you might like, that you know someone that would like, or you just constantly are having questions, maybe you're buying and selling cars on your own at home in your garage, maybe you're thinking of opening a dealership, a subscribe to my channel and a like would go so far. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, I also mentioned the Texas application for title. There will be a link to that down below. You can print one of those off, take it with you. The only spot that the seller needs to sign is all the way down at the bottom where it says signature of seller. You can fill in the rest of that document yourself at a later time if you want to, or you can skip it and just let your county tax office handle it. But what I want to talk to you next is on the Texas Motor Vehicle Transfer Notification. This is one that is predominantly to protect the seller from you never going and transferring your title and you running red lights and getting tickets and things like that. What this does is this releases the seller from the liability of you getting parking tickets, you know, robbing a bank and they see that license plate number, and also tolls. So be a courteous buyer. Tell the seller, hey, I just want to fill this form out so that we have record that I've bought this car from you. You can actually do it from your phone if you want, or you can do it by paper and mail it in. The website is on the top portion of the title that tears off if they don't have it, but I can add it again down below to the link. And that's a very straightforward one. It's, you know, name, address, phone number. Did they keep their license plates? Yes or no? Who did you sell the vehicle to? Again, I've used pink for the seller, and I've used yellow for the buyer. You can get one of those filled out and mail it in for them. You can hope that they did it, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really so much affect you, but it does protect them. You also, if they have a toll tag, want to be a courteous buyer and say, hey, did you have a razor? Do you want to scrape this toll tag off? I don't want to run up your bill. And after that, you're basically good to go. Those are the documents that you're going to need to get the car bought. If you've watched my videos before, you know this is the last scene where I say, okay, guys, that's about it. But that is about it. It's a pretty straightforward process. If you only look at the video for the picture, the title, to know who signs what, you're going to be in good shape. Just know that you have, I want to say 30 days to take the car title to the county tax office to get it put into your name. You are going to need those items we talked about, meaning the inspection can't be more than 90 days old. You got to have insurance if you're going to get license plates, and it is helpful if you have the application for title, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. You got to be prepared for taxes and fees and all that. Texas does use a presumptive tax, which means they're going to run the VIN number to your vehicle. It's going to tell them what the average price of that vehicle was. And if your actual purchase price is below that standard presumptive tax price, they're going to tax you on the standard presumptive tax price. They're going to tax you on whichever is higher. So don't try saying, you know, I bought this car that really is worth $20,000 and I paid $200, because they're going to figure that out and they're going to tax you on whatever that amount of money is. So that's all you need to know about that part. I appreciate you watching. We have more videos coming out in the future. If you have questions, put them down below. I'm happy to answer them. And again, I appreciate everybody watching. The channel's growing slow and sure. And obviously the revenue I'm interested in is coming up a little bit every month. If you have other questions about cars, car titles, want to see more behind the scenes at my car lot, things like that, leave me a comment, let me know. I really appreciate y'all watching, and have a great